So the difference between what we think we're seeing and the reality is quite different. There are so many levels of deception that you have no idea. A really good movie to watch is The Boys from Brazil. Shows you about the cloning that the Nazis were doing. But that's only one small part of it. And I was just mentioning at lunchtime that if any of you have not watched Superman 1, right at the beginning of Superman 1, they bundle the little baby up and send him down to our planet. And they say to him, "You are going to a planet that is 1,000 years behind us. You will have superpowers." Those people reside in the Antarctic and underground. And okay, so when you know these things, God, it's bloody. Some people are interested in listening to me. Some people can't hear with the constant background noise. Okay, so reality, sorry, did I frighten you? Reality and what we think we're seeing are totally different. But as you become more attuned to the 5D vibrations or the 5D energy, you will start to see things differently. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware, some of you are still fairly new. I will show you some legislation where common law is mentioned in the Acts, but I never go down the common law path. All I know is that for an agent to interact with me, he needs a contract. When an agent interacts with me, he's getting a secret commission. Now, before lunch, someone mentioned about the front of a passport. So I brought a passport in here, and I'll read out what it says at the beginning of this. Now, I told you on the plane, I woke up, grabbed my passport, and looked at it. Okay? Her Britannic Majesty's Secretary of State requests and requires in the name of Her Majesty all those whom it may concern to allow the bearer to pass freely without let or hindrance, and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary. Now, I put my case up and I said to the, never deal with counter trolls. Okay? Go higher up the food chain. And they hate that. I always say, is there someone higher up the food chain? And I tell you what, they don't like that at all. But so they'll send someone who's a bit higher up the pay grade, probably more politically correct, but I'm not. So anyway, the guy comes out and I said, could you read that out aloud? And he just looks at her and he says, that'll be all, thank you. And he zips my bag back up and, yeah. And he coughed from afar. I heard a far cough. Sorry. Did that slip out? Sorry. I'm naughty. Don't encourage me. Jeez. Okay. Persons deemed to be agents. Now, what I'm trying to show you guys is the difference between a beneficiary is when you go begging on your hands and knees to WINZ, who is a private company, a piece of paper, who has agents working for it. It's a piece of paper, has agents working for it. And you go in there on your hands and knees and you get treated as such. When you go to see them, they are actually acting as an agent. So if you reverse the role, because you have learnt your status, all of a sudden they become... Now, if anyone wants to get a photo of that or anything, you're welcome to come up. I won't ridicule you. I won't take the... No. Look at them all scaredy cats. For the purposes of this Act, every officer of a corporation and every member of a governing body of a corporation shall be deemed to be an agent of the corporation. And so if we go down to C, every person in the service of the Crown. Who's the Crown? Sorry? The birth certificate? The placenta? Just straw man, yeah. Okay, so they're telling you in that Act, the Secret Commissions Act, what an agent of the Crown is. But unless you know what your status is, then you have no status. You'll be deemed a Benny.
So you can still participate in all their rights and privileges. And
Oh, yeah.
As long as you don't contract, you can still have a license and a passport. And
Absolutely.
Okay.
But if you know your rights, now a lot of people, when a cop pulls them up on the side of the road, they have a brain freeze. They've been taught this fear, that four-letter word beginning with F. Fear. Okay? Everyone's in fear. Now, I know some people who are absolutely in fear over something beginning with IRD. Absolutely terrified of them. I don't fear these people anymore because I've done everything and they know that they can't hurt me. They know that they can't do anything that would worry me. They sent Inland Revenue after me, only because I stopped paying tax. I mean, just a simple thing like that, really. So they actually, they came after me and said that I owed them $520,000. Yours is peanuts. Peanuts. Sorry, I'm just a little personal thing over here. Okay. 520,000, so me being the smart ass that I am, I went down and put the company into liquidation. I went down to McDonald Vague in Grays Ave in Auckland. Anyone wants to put a company in liquidation? McDonald Vague. Cost me $4,000 back then, but anyway, from what transpired there, I learned how to pay my tax. It's very simple when you know. Very simple. So much so that in, I think it was 2015, I can't remember. Yeah, it was probably around 2015, 2016. I thought, shit, I haven't filed a tax return. Mind you, I haven't paid tax, but I haven't filed a tax return. So I actually thought maybe I should do the upstanding citizen type thing and file a tax return. So I did. I got the form and I signed it and dated it and sent it in. And I get a phone call. You haven't put how much you earned there. And I said, well, that's because I don't know. I said, I don't know how much the Sedicate Trust is earning. But I guess you would. I won't go any further in that story because I know you guys will get yourselves into a lot of trouble if you do the shit that I do. Don't try this at home. Okay, so if you go to the bugger. The final bit there, nothing in this section shall be so construed as to restrict in any manner the meaning of the terms agent or principal as used in this act. Now, how many of you have bothered since or over the break to look up principal? I guess I'm going to have to do it for you. Phew. Sorry? Highest in rank. Thank you. Who was that? Thank you. I love you. I love you. Okay, someone who actually took the trouble to look it up. As I said right at the beginning, don't believe a word I say. Principal is the highest in rank. So where does that put the agent? The bottom of the heap. Okay, so now if you know your rights, you're going to be better off. They know this. They know, well, the people who intercept the letters know this. Now, like people write to the Queen and they get a response back from her secretary because the Queen would never see any of those letters that you send. They're all intercepted by the civil servants. And if any of you watched Yes Minister, now there's clips on YouTube. Go and have a look at some of those clips on YouTube, Yes Minister, and that is exactly how the system is run. The politicians are only the front face to sell it to us. And what they do is they fly a kite, they call it. They fly a kite. They say, see if this will go up. So they broach something. So they'll put something out into the media who are their puppets. And Horse Features has given them a lot of money to keep up the narrative. But they'll put something out. If the wind catches it and takes it up, that means the public has accepted it. Right, we'll go ahead with that. Now, I can tell you back in 2007, a group approached me, and they had over 6,000 people in their group. It was the Natural Health Charter, and asked me to write a letter. They know that I'm good, or write a, was that stifled? Stifled. I wrote a public notice for them. They put it into the into a newspaper 3 times, and that stopped the natural.
TGA.
Sorry.
It was the TGA.
TGA, Therapeutic Goods and Services Act, stopped it in its tracks. Okay, you can do this. You see, everything that goes through Parliament is just a bill. Sorry. Fuck. Jeez. It's a waste of humour, isn't it? Fucking hell. Absolute waste of humour. Oh dear. Okay, so everything that goes through is just a bill. Someone always has to pay the bill, or at the end of the night, someone always has to pick up the bill. Okay, so if it goes through as a bill, they do 3 readings. After the 3rd reading, what happens? No, it doesn't. They wait 90 days. What for? It's a 90-day bill. They wait for someone to pay the bill. If you pay the bill, it's gone. If you don't, then the public has to pay the bill. As I say, I always get paid. Someone has to pay the bill. If you wrote on the back of your birth certificate a bond and says, here, this is to pay the bill, it's gone. Don't get any ideas. Don't try this at home. Okay.
You have to figure the amount, or they just deduct it.
No, you can put whatever amount you want, but if you pay the bill, it's gone. After 90 days, if no one pays the bill, the Governor-General says, right, public, away you go. You're going to pay for that for the rest of your lives. How do I work out all this shit? Don't know.
Can you not send them a cheque for $5?
Whatever you want. Now, speaking of which, when you turn 100, you get a letter from someone or from her uncivil servants. What do you think? They don't spell it out, but anything can only last for 99 years. So any contract we have with those corporations or any treaties or anything like that expire after 99 years. You can't have a treaty go indefinitely. You can't have a Sedicate trust go indefinitely. It has to expire. It's normally the lifetime of a person. So what old lizard breath is saying... Oh, sorry, slip of the tongue there. Elizabeth. Sorry. I've got a speech impediment. No, sorry. Don't encourage me. What she is saying is, hey, the 99 years is up. Would you like your trust to be returned to you, or would you like to carry on? So by silent acquiescence, now you're all aware of that, aren't you? And look at you all race to your phones to find out what silent acquiescence means. You're agreeing to stay in the system for another year. And supposedly, I don't know, I'm not 99 yet, just a couple of years to go. 1.5, something like that. If you at that stage say, thank you for your offer, I would like all that money in my Sedicate by trust back, deal done. So if you've got any relatives who are about to turn 100, tell them when they get the letter from old Lizard. Yeah, she's got trouble with that. They can renegotiate the contract. It's the same when you're in court. Oh, we come to, yeah. Just remind myself of me. Because we do come to it, I know that. Now here, people are wondering why Taupo Council suddenly reversed everything. Just so happens I have a very active group down there, actually groupies, and this was a letter that was sent to someone whose name shall remain anonymous. Okay. Summary of rights. What a great council. They actually tell you what your rights are. This is the front. This is the front. And that's the back of there. And it tells you what your summary of rights is. Now guess what? Oh, I think I'll bring it up a bit clearer on the next one, I think. There we go. This paragraph describes a defence additional to those described in paragraph 3 and 4. This defence is available if you are a principal. how does this shit fall into my hands? Honestly. But now that council, because of some of the things we've been doing down that way, have realised they're in serious shit, and that's why they've taken all restrictions off. Others will follow, and you need to be doing the same sort of stuff. Okay, don't leave it all to me. Okay, so there's a really good council. They explain your rights. And if you look on the back of your tickets, they'll also explain your rights, but you're too lazy. Leave it all to me. An agency relationship is a fiduciary. Another word that you must look up. Don't leave it all to me. Fiduciary relationship. Where one person called the principal allows an agent to act on his or her behalf. The agent is subject to the principal's control. Oh, you didn't tell me the truth. I know what you asked me. Where did I get all my information from? Okay, so I'm just going to show you just a couple of the books. And now I spend a fortune on these things. Can you tell the group how much I paid for that? Yeah.
$5.
Oh, shit.
5 million.
$5. That one there was $3. I go around the op shops. Oh, that one was 50 cents. I paid. A lawyer among the theologians. Where's that lady whose father? Yeah. A lawyer among the theologians. You're asking where I get my information from, okay? Not from common law. Look at that one. The King's Two Bodies. What? The King's Two Bodies. How do I find all this stuff? Don't ask me. How much did I pay for that one? Another big price? $4. But even better, these ones here that I somehow managed to acquire. Very few lawyers would see this sort of stuff. The Law of Nations. No, I got this downloaded free. So this one here, The Nature of Equity. Now this is the laws of New Zealand. All these here are the laws of New Zealand. They're very different to statute, as I told you earlier. The laws are something that cannot be changed. So what happens? I'll sit down so you don't have to bloody look around me. What happens? Statute is the rules of a private company. It's an in-house policy that anyone working for that private company, it used to be the Queen and Right of New Zealand, it's changed. The last filing for the Queen and Right of New Zealand was 2011, and you used to be able to go onto the Securities Exchange Commission and see their annual returns. The government had to file its annual returns because it's a private company. Okay, but that's all changed now. So anything that they put through Parliament, don't be embarrassed, come up here. You trying to get a picture of me or a selfie or what? Oh. So it's a private company. Anything called statute is for a private company. Now, people think that they can go into those private courts and get remedy. You can't. It's like going into McDonald's and saying, I don't like your hamburgers, I want a bucket of wings. What's the KFC bucket thingy? Yeah. You can't go in to a private company and tell them what to do. All you can do is go and order a hamburger. But a private company has its own rules, and you must abide by those rules if you want the benefits. So if you want the benefits of killing yourself, go and eat McDonald's, which is all aborted babies and... sorry. Sorry, I don't hold back. So what happens when a statute comes in? The top lawyers, unlike someone's dad, sit down and have a look through the statute and say, this does not comply with the human rights. So they write the laws of New Zealand, and our remedies are in here. Now, most people listen to a whole pile of American bullshit, and I heard someone at lunchtime saying, notice to agent is notice to principal, notice to principal is notice to agent. What a load of shit. You're the principal, you notify the agent. You don't bloody notify yourself. Principal is the highest in rank. Okay, so in these books, although I go through the statute, the only reason I go through the statute is to keep them in check. Now, the laws of New Zealand are totally different. Where do you find those? On your stick. I know, I just downloaded them to someone there. No. I've done all the hard work for you. I'll show you the remedy. But we were lucky enough to get, back in 2009, we were lucky enough to get somehow LexisNexis for 3 months. And we downloaded all the laws of New Zealand and found all our remedies in the laws of New Zealand. The lawyers don't know this shit. All they do is they get taught process, and they will follow the process. They know what form to get and where to go and get it, where to lodge it, and all that sort of stuff. They don't know the law. Probably 2% of them know the law. Okay, so I told you I'd go through statutes, so I'm just going to take a little... I'll go to it anyway. Okay, so do you all know how to go into the New Zealand legislation? I think it actually does come up, but if it comes up again, I'll just fast forward. Okay, so Crimes Act 1961. Now here I'll mention common law. I will mention it a couple of times, okay, but...
I remember seeing it in one of your videos.
Yeah, but I don't use common law. Okay, so no one shall be convicted of any offence at common law of any other offence against any act of the Parliament of England or of the Parliament of Great Britain or the Parliament of the United Kingdom, provided that nothing in this section shall limit or affect the power or authority of the House of Representatives to punish for contempt. So there is only one crime in that whole Crimes Act that's punishable: contempt of court. Tells you right there in section 9. Contempt of court. How do they get you into contempt of court? Swear on the Bible. Matthew 5 says, swear no oaths. The moment you swear against their book, you're gone. That's the only offence punishable. But there's some little doozies in there to hold them accountable, which we will come to later. So anyway, that's just a little trip aside. So we'll go back here. Oh. Okay. Why would you go to court?
Family court.
Why would you go to court? I'm trying to show you how to pick your battles, not your nose. Okay? Pick your battles. Don't argue and fight. If you go into their system, you're going to lose. I can win. I've had the judges walk off twice, was the most I've had them walk off. I've had judges get to the door, they go out through the door, then they turn around and look at me and bow. No kidding. I've had 3 judges bow to me, only because they know that I know, and they recognise it.
I can vouch for that, Bill. Honest, I've been through a court case with 3 judges, and took me 2 years. And one of my cousins introduced me to one of your friends, so I went in there and threw shit at the wall. I went through 3 judges, but I learned because, like in there, you said not to attack the judge, but to attack the prosecutor. So I learned as I went along, and by the time I got to they did railroad me, they threatened me, everything you said was going to happen, it all took place, and I just held my ground. And then I went right through to the 3rd judge. He actually retired after that and threw the case out. But 2 days before, I listened to your videos and you said to put in a claim. So 2 days before they threw it out, I put a claim in for 150 mil. That Judge Lange threw it out and then retired. So I went back to try and claim it. And they go, you can't because he's gone. And all. So they were ahead of me all the time.
Yep.
But
yeah.
it works.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yep. Look, I had... Yeah. I had one of our mutual friends who was in court, and I said, "You stay outside the court. I'll go and do it for you." And anyway, 3 times I shut the judge down, so she walked off, and she had an Indian registrar, and the registrars are the court. The registrars take the bet, and it's a presumption. They presume that you do not know your rights. You do not know that they're prosecuting a trust, and so they're taking a bet that you don't know. So anyway, the Indian prosecutor, he's looking out the door. No, he's still there. No, he's still there. And I stayed there. So the judge came back out and assumed this thing. Now, one of the things you'll find is that I've told you about the rule of 3. The reason I know the rule of 3, I was born on the 3rd of the 3rd, so I had a double reminder. So the rule of 3, on the second one, they'll explain, once you refuse their first offer of contract, the second one, they will explain it very carefully. Do you understand? No. What happens next is the old foot goes on the button. And all of a sudden the place swarms with coppers and security. They get the buzzer and they swarm. Now I had 2 10-foot tall gorillas come to me, and I said, "Do not take another step." And they stopped in their tracks. And the judge said, "Arrest him, arrest him." And I said, "Do not take another step." And they stopped. She walked off. Okay, but I got banned from the courts after that. I got told by a friendly lawyer, "Bill, if you go into the courts, you're going to be arrested on sight." So that really stopped me. That really stopped me. Anyway, why do you keep taking me off on tangents? You know, don't encourage me. Okay, so we were talking about the Crimes Act. Now, they are accountable under the Crimes Act, not us. Unless we swear on their Bible. It means we've cursed their book. Oh, which reminds me, I gave you a couple of things before, did I not, about A4 legal paper and foolscap paper. There's also another one. Have you heard of italics? Okay, so italics is cursive. Cursive language. When you write, it's cursive. So you're cursing them. Okay, so you just write in upright. Or you print, actually.
So all those years in school, that's all they taught us to write italics.
Cursive. You're cursing them. Mate, they're tricky. They sneak in with the humans. Okay, so under their system, once you know all the rules, which we'll gradually get to, if I don't... Sorry?
Botanicals, when you write a botanical plant name, it's written in italics.
Yep.
Are they cursing all our medicine?
I hadn't thought of that, but you may be right, I don't know. But what I will tell you is... I like that. All the maxims are written in italics. Now, what I told you before, the maxims are immutable law. They must be upheld. So guess what else is in italics? All the court cases. So all the case precedents, the things that the judge must obey is maxims, case precedent, and ecclesiastical. Okay, they must obey. They are bound to uphold those because those are immutable laws. You can see who all the naughty people are writing flat out. I know I've got you memorised. Okay. The agent is subject to the principal's control. Never forget it. That is your status. Agency relationships can also arise from circumstances even without explicit agreement. Whether an implied agency arose is a question of fact for a jury or judge to determine if the issue comes up in a trial. Okay, so who would have an example of an agency relationship without explicit agreement? I did mention it before, but I can see sometimes you've got to punch that information in more than once. Silent acquiescence is a relationship without explicit agreement. But by our silence, we have acquiesced or we have agreed to it. Now this becomes, and you really need to learn this because this will become more than apparent when we get to letter writing. By that stage, we'll be just about right for dinner to arrive. You've all put your orders. Good luck with that. I hope you've tipped the waitress. Okay, characteristics of agency. Now, at the top there, you will see djetlawyer.com. It creates a bipartite and tripartite relationship. Okay, so this may go above your head, but the bipartite is between us and the agent. What is the tripartite? It's the trust. Okay, so the tripartite is the trust. It's a shame you had to sit there, but you know, if you paid more, you could have been in the front row. You know, ringside, ringside.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, I can see I'm in real trouble, and I know I'm going to get bitch slapped all the way out. So, okay, so a bipartite is between us and the agent, but the tripartite, once we go into contract with them, then the trust becomes involved. And the reason the trust becomes involved is for what reason? Because the agent is raising money for the trust. The agent will take the money from us and give some to the trust and take a commission. Will he disclose that commission? No. And that's why they can never, ever give full disclosure, because the most important thing about it is they would disclose the trust. And once again, that would pierce the corporate veil. Okay. It is determined by law. The relationship between the parties is one that is determined by law and not by consent or intention of the parties involved. In some instances, the parties might think there is an agency relationship between them, while in the eyes of the law, there is no such relationship. Okay, so they're coming in under false pretenses, which we will come to in the letter writing part of this. Sorry. Freeze frame. No, there we go. It creates a fiduciary relationship. Agency creates a fiduciary relationship between the principal and the agent. Fiduciary relationship, I guess all you smart ones out there have already looked it up.
It's the highest level of trust in law. Something like that.
It concerns legal rights and obligations, and here we go. The actions of the agents affects the principal's legal rights and obligations. Okay, so that's the characteristics of an agency. And as I say, I was in real estate for 20 years, so I know the law of agency, and I know the agent-principal relationship. And once again, I can tell you, not many real estate agents know this shit. I had stuff given to me by whomever. You got a surly looking face there. Kim, what's going on? Hi? We're going to be learning how to write letters, so we've got to find out who we write the letters to. It's to the agent in their private capacity. Now, they do not like doing this. Now, John Key was very, very good. He gave away so many clues when he was Prime Minister. He got asked, I think it was, did he have shares in this particular company? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was something else, yeah. They said, were you briefed on this? And he said, no, I wasn't. So they said, was your office briefed on this? Yes. Were you in the office at the time? No. So he'd taken his office hat off and put it on the desk and put his private hat on. Okay? That's how devious it is. He can be sitting there and being told something, but sorry, I've got my private hat on now, so I can't hear a word you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I can't hear what you're saying. So, swapping hats is part of the game. So, when we address an agent in their private capacity, we're stepping them out of their office, so we're taking that office hat off and putting the private hat on. Now they're accountable as a man to man. And what does the good book say about when you have a dispute? Go first to thine brother, go first to thine adversary, lest you be taken before a judge. Oh, here comes a good one. Here comes.
How do you deal with the thing if you have an ex who is always adamant on taking things to court rather than settling in private?
It doesn't matter. You see, what will happen is that you will get a letter from her lawyer, won't you?
We both self-represented, so really, she's put an application.
Be yourself. Gotta be yourself.
Why would you want to be represented? You're representing yourself as the trust. So now you're representing the living as the dead. Sorry, just have a look at your shoes. You shot yourself in the foot, buddy. I knew it'd be a good one. You never want to be represented. If judge says, are you representing yourself? No, I will be myself. And that was what happened the first time I went into court and gave them a bond. The judge looked at the bond. He's already been paid. The courts are just a bank. He's been paid, his job's over. Now he just has to check that I wasn't watching Bill Turner online.
Well,
Do you want to go on to say about the lawyer? So with that dispute between exes, you would have received a letter from their lawyer.
Hold on, someone's bloody yakking over here.
Sorry, you were going to go on to say with exes in dispute, you would receive a letter from their lawyer.
Yeah, you'll receive a letter from...
What would you do if you went down that path?
Okay, you write back to them, because what they will say is, I suggest you engage a lawyer. So we write back to them and say, we suggest you cough from afar. In other words, far cough. Sorry. Jeez, I hope the editors are bloody good.
I just say we have an interim contract because we haven't used our family name. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. Look, lawyers have got no right to come between the living. It's that simple. They've got no right to come between the living. How do they come between the living?
By representing them. Representing. When you give us the contract.
How do they come between the living? What do you think I've been trying to teach you all day? Contract law is the only law. They have to have a contract. If you agree to get a lawyer, then the two lawyers start playing games. One lawyer rings the other lawyer up and he says, hey, shit, this guy's got a bit of money. Let's play him. And this is what they do. Right, what do you suggest? Well, I'll come with this, you can go with that. Yeah, good idea. So they get you writing affidavits and all this bullshit, rebutting this, and each time you go back and forth, oh, she's lying there, so argument, argument, argument. Okay, they play these games on you guys. They've got no right to come between you unless you give them a contract. Forget your fucking common law. It's all contract. Okay? May I?
Sorry, may I just ask another question? If they then go, the ex partner goes directly to the court and files an urgent application to the court, what would you sort of suggest to do in that situation?
Okay, we're going to come up to letter writing shortly, okay? And you can throw everything out with letters, okay? The most important part is this here. Tattoo it on the inside of your eyelids, and if you know that, you will avoid all confrontation and all. That's the only thing that can get you into. Okay, so if someone goes directly to the court's going to give you an invitation. Are they not? Sorry, I'm using a negative averment there. There's a new word for you, negative averment. Are you not? Switches the role, and they can't answer it because it's a negative averment. Another new. Okay, so if we're writing to them in their private capacity, time.
Do you spell averment?
Was that vermin or vermin?
A-V-E-R-M-E-N-T.
Thank you.
So negative averment means agreement, but a negative averment means you're coming in, you put a not in there, N-O-T, not a K-N-O-T. Yeah. It's just something that you can look up, do your own research. Don't trust a word that I say, young lady. All right? I'll put you down the garden path, no trouble.
I've got my gun.
Okay, now if we're not writing to an agent, if we're writing to someone like Baycorp or someone like that, who would we write to?
Dear unnamed writer.
What? Sure.
Dear unnamed writer, the collections thing never put a name.
Oh, mate, I'm going to have to slap you round. I'm going to have to slap you round. What did I tell you in the previous slide? Who do you write to?
Someone in the private capacity.
Okay, so you need to have a living being. Okay? You need to have a living being. So if you're going to write to Baycorp or someone like that, who would you write to? CEO? CFO? Chief Financial Officer, CFO. Even better, go online and look up who the directors of the company are. Okay, so the directors, if you hold them personally liable, oh dear.
You crashed the system the other day.
Sorry?
That's what happened. I was trying to look up a company on Thursday and it was offline. So someone must have been doing a whole bunch of searches somewhere.
Could have been. Okay, so we're going to go for the highest ranking in that organisation, the CEO or CFO. Now you got your things there, or the director. Now you're talking to a living or communicating with a living, not unnamed, bloody self-represented. Yeah, but you've got to get their name. You can't just address a registrar. In fact, I'll ask a registrar at at the next break. Because there's one in the room, but I'm not going to disclose where.
Or shall I say, Bill, I did send it to a living man, but I said I received a letter from an unnamed writer because the
Okay, so
elections letter was an unnamed writer.
yeah, so you need to get on the phone and say, hey, who is this? Okay, if you don't check, okay, I'm going to share a little secret with you. Do you mind if I share a secret? Okay, donations gratefully accepted. Okay. Inland Revenue. Every computer has a name. WINS. Every computer has a name. So if you happen to walk over to this desk and see Joe Bloggs, and you type a letter to looky over glasses lady here, Joe Bloggs sends a letter to you. If you go into contract with them by any of those, then a living person takes over, but they still use the computer name. Okay? So the first thing you must do is find out whether you're talking to a computer or a living being. Now, you will find out very quickly. You'll find out very quickly because you'll ring up and ask for Joe Bloggs. Oh, he's not in at the moment. When will he be back? Oh, not sure. Okay, that is how. Same thing will happen with the ACC. All their computers will be named.
Well, they just got their first name now, not their last name, and
Yeah.
no direct dial.
Yep.
0800.
I tell you what, everything I do and everything I show people what to do, they have a way of correcting it within a very, very short time. And a friend of mine who's a lawyer in the courts up in Albany, he said, Bill, oh, this is going back years when I was young, dumb and full of bright ideas. You can see all the dirty minds working overtime, can't you? He said, every time, don't encourage me. God, bloody terrors, I tell you. Okay, he would say, Bill, every time you go into court, he said, a transcript goes through to Wellington. He said, within 2 days, they have worked out how to count a bill. And he said, so every Friday, the judges will knock off at 12 o'clock on a Friday, go upstairs for drinks. And this is how to combat Bill. And so they've worked out a strategy to overcome me. Now, I found out firsthand. I went in and I'd used this tactic before. And the judge looks at it and he looks at me. Not going to work this time. I'm looking at same paperwork I put in. Anyway, I went home and I looked up why. They changed the whole Judicature Act on me. All the forms were changed, all the forms I'd used. Oh, now, just while you're there, go to the second to last page in your book. They changed the whole Judicature Act. The 1908 Judicature Act was changed and it became the High Court rules.
I tried to use that when I went to go for
Yep.
my claim. I put
Yep.
it into, instead of thing into the High Court.
Yep.
They wouldn't even
No.
follow them.
Yep. They changed the whole thing. Okay, so if you go to the second last page there, Yep. Forms contained within a schedule have statutory force. Second to last page. Go to the last page, all you bright people. That's it. I can see that one. Okay, go to the last page and then just go back one. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'll go gentle on you folks. No, I won't. I promise I won't take the piss any more. Or any less. Okay. Forms contained in a schedule have statutory force. This is straight out of their books. Okay, so if you find a form, they must uphold that form. Because in the beginning, the world was without form. But then your Father filled out a form and put you into the system. So if a form got you into the system, a form will get you out of the system. And I filled out that form in 1982. Inadvertently, these things happened to me. How did I get out of the system? Totally exited the system in 1982. I used a form. Forms contained in a schedule have statutory force. I'm surprised I haven't heard what form. Oh, good question. Leaving New Zealand permanently. Where did I find that form? In the Inland Revenue Act. No, they took it out when I filled it out again. And I tell you that I'm always one jump ahead, but then they jump on me in the next one because they removed the form in 2013, I think, when I used it again. They took it out. Shit, this guy's onto us, you know, so, yeah. They do. It will be there somewhere, but you're just going to have to look a lot harder. I can't. No, I didn't finish the story, but okay. What happened was, in 1982, I went to live in Australia, so I left New Zealand permanently. Okay. When I came back, I didn't exist. Couldn't get a bank loan, couldn't get a credit card, couldn't get anything. But what happened, and luckily I was blessed with a good memory, a very good memory, and the moment I got a job and filled out another form, bang. So in the beginning the world was without form. Now I know how to do it properly. And I'll show you.
If you were out of the system, you wouldn't be able to get anything like from our taxes, would you?
Don't be so sure of yourself.
No, I'm not.
I may show you. I may, if you're lucky, show you a form.
I'm not sure myself at all. That's why I'm here and I'm asking.
I may show you a form. I'm teaching you about agent principal. Okay? So I may show you a form that you can appoint an agent to act on your behalf. I'll tell you another story. I like stories. Back in 2010, if he talks again, just throw something at him, okay? Back in 2010, a lady was getting mortgagee sailed. And I got a call from a mutual friend of ours. He said, Bill, can you come and help this lady in court? And I says, yeah. Now, it just so happened a couple of days earlier, I had found a form. Inland Revenue's got a lot of good forms. And, okay, this form was an IR 597 form. Elect someone to act on your behalf. Now, being the cheeky bastard I am, I went into the court and I walked straight up the front, straight up the front, and I said to the lawyer, are you the lawyer for the bank? And he says, yeah. And I said, hi, I'm Bill. Have you got a card? So, got his card. Went outside, jumped on the phone. Could I have your GST number? Yeah. Wrote it down, put it on the form, and appointed the lawyer for the bank as the agent to act on her behalf. Sorry?
Do they have to accept that, or can that lawyer turn around
Oh, yeah, no, I'll tell you what happened. The judge, I handed it up to the judge. Oh, no, actually, I handed it to the registrars. Registrars are the most important in the court. They're the ones who take the bet. So handed it up to the registrar, who handed it up to the judge. And that'll be all for today, thank you. And the poor old bank, I didn't give him a copy. I didn't tell him that he was now going to pay the debt. So, I mean, no, you've got to have balls to do this shit. Okay. The lawyer had no idea what had happened. He really didn't have a clue what had happened. So, anyway, that's another story of what actually happens in real life. Oh, shit. All letters are bills of exchange. Just can't get away from bill, can you? Hey? So when you realise what a bill is, or what a letter is, the fear should go out of you. It's an offer to contract or an offer to settle the bill. So now we just have to teach you how to settle the bill. If you ask a question of the agent that is the right question, now I was talking to someone at lunchtime, who happens to know the Angry Dwarf. He's from down Angry Dwarf country. Okay, now, someone who loves to argue, okay, the Angry Dwarf. But if you ask them the right question, there will be no argument and they must go silent, because otherwise they would expose the whole system. Can you guys still hear okay over there? I thought I heard snoring, that was all, but no. Okay. Don't go being a smart ass like I am. Okay? Just ask. All you need is 2 questions and immediately you have established your status. They cannot answer the questions that are going to follow. Now, I'm hoping that I've got it up here. Okay, here we go. Acquiescence. Conduct recognising the existence of a transaction and intended to permit the transaction to be carried into effect. A tacit agreement. Consent inferred from silence. Now, I cannot give you a more powerful sentence than that one. Oh, oh, sorry, I thought, she's trying to, do you want me to do my hair? No? Now, people like to, once they find information that is really powerful, they want to go and abuse it. You don't need to, guys. You don't need to. All you need to do is for them to go silent. And I'm going to show you some words that absolutely nail them to the wall. Okay, but that one, the last 4 words there, consent inferred from silence. Indel that upon your brain. Come. Sorry? We give them a specified period to respond. I beg your pardon? I don't do anything verbally. Okay. You hop on the phone to someone and you ring them the next day. No, I never heard of you. Deny all knowledge of any phone call. Everything must be in writing. You must have a paper trail that will stand up in court. Oh, mate, look, if you're not confident on the side of the road, take the ticket and then go and write a letter. It's gone. It's gone. It's that simple. Look, one of the young ladies down in Wanganui, I'm proud of her, $33,000 worth of fines. Gone. Student loans, gone. Anyone got student loans? Yeah. Real easy. Real easy. Just takes a letter. Anything. It only takes a letter. The only time you're going to use a phone is to find out if it is a computer or a living being. Okay, now these people do not like to be held accountable. They do not like to be in their private capacity because in the office they are bonded. Okay, District Court Rules 2014. Judgment on admission. Now these things are quite important, but I've done the hard work for you. So when it comes to the letters, you will find that I have used all this stuff to put it. Okay, now there is a key word there. And if any one of you would care to look up the word, it's admission. Jeez, look at that. Talk about grabby. Okay, admission from registrars, bailiffs, and other officers of the court. What was that? Other than bailiffs may be appointed under the Public Service Act. That's not admission. Anika?
You were asking about that before. It's just their appointment is under the Public Service Act.
Oh, okay. Okay. Registrars are appointed under the Public Service Act. Thank you.
What am I looking?
Admission. Okay, admission is a very, very powerful word. And so you'll find that I use certain words like far, admission.
Okay, so we've got admission, one, a confession or acknowledgement.
Sorry?
We've got admission, a confession or acknowledgement.
Voluntary.
Admission of facts.
Admission of facts.
A voluntary acknowledgement
Yep.
made.
Good one. I'll read it out so the people over here can hear it. But thank you, Tracy. Admission. A confession or acknowledgement, admission of facts, is a voluntary acknowledgement. Voluntary. This will become apparent in the letter. Voluntary acknowledgement made by a party to a proceeding which is adverse to the party's interest in the outcome of the proceeding. Okay, so by using that word there, judgment on admission. When we write the letter, if they don't respond, because we use admission there, we automatically have judgment. Automatic judgment. Tells you in the district court rules, which is why we use it. Do you want to see the? No, I won't. You'll see it soon. Soon enough. Okay, that is section 15.12 of the District Court Rules 2014. That section, they are bound by statute, and if we use that word in the letter, they're nailed to the wall. There's nothing they can do about it. Now, especially for young ladies who might be on bail, real naughty ladies, who are trying to hide behind the rails. Okay. I had a young lady down in Whakatane who gave me a call and said, this is on a Thursday. Said, Bill, I'm going to court tomorrow. She was going to jail. She was going to jail. Oh, you know. You know. She was going to jail. And I said, Jesus, talk about leave it till the last minute. So anyway, I quickly wrote up a letter for her, got her a registered mail envelope, everything, sent it off there and then. I wasn't going to leave anything to her. I said, but, yeah, well, you know, oh, I'll post it tomorrow, you know. On my way to court, I'll post it. No. Anyway, she went to the court. I said, you don't need to go to the court. So she sat outside the court. The cops came out and said, oh, you've got to come into court now. So she went in like a fool. She went in. And judge said, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you've presented to the court. Come back at 2 o'clock. So she went back at 2 o'clock. This is a Friday afternoon. Judges are normally upstairs having a drinky poos. Anyway, she went back at 2 o'clock. Court was empty. They never have anything booked in the afternoons on a Friday afternoon. So she goes back and he says, yeah, that's it. See you later. That was it. She walked out free. She's a converted believer. Unlike angry dwarfs who will argue till the cows come home. Tell them there is an easier way. Okay, so here we go. This is part of the letter. So we've established our status in the letter. And I should have put another name in there, but to hell with it. That name can stay. To clarify the situation, would J.A. Lowndes kindly respond to the following questions to above within, where's the guy who was up there, 14 days? The guy who was up there, 14 days?
14, yep, thank you.
Okay. Oh, hope it didn't wake you up. Oh, okay. 14 days. Now we've given them a time. Respond to the following questions to above within 14 days, with the stipulation the J.A. Lowndes' non-response will be accepted as silent acquiescent admission. Okay, what did we tell you admission was? Voluntary admission of the facts or acceptance of the facts contained within. Okay, but we have another word there. Now, I learnt this in 2005 from Victoria Joy. She gave us two words, presumption, and she used this the whole way through the 2-day seminar, and stipulation. So how many people have looked it up? Yeah. How many people have looked up stipulation? Actually, that'd be a good question to ask Siri. What does cough from afar mean? Or am I just being Siri? Sorry, that was a Chinese accent. It's an agreement that the facts contained are true. Now, what lawyers do, they will agree to certain things, and that becomes a stipulation. Now, the judges will accept stipulation because it's an agreement between the parties. Now, if we go back to the District Court Act, we've already got agreement, and now we have the stipulation that if he doesn't respond, we have a silent acquiescent admission. They're nailed. There's nothing they can do. They cannot respond to these letters. They're agents of the Crown. They're sworn to uphold statute. Now we've got agreement from them. If they don't respond within 14 days, which they can't, everything... Oh, now it suddenly becomes clear, Tracy. Yay! Nailed their asses to the wall.
Was the last workshop.
Kapai? This is how powerful the word is. The pen is mightier than the sword is. Have you got a phone with data? Yeah. Okay, look up delivery. Legal definition of delivery. All right? No, look it up now because... Did you put legal definition of delivery? Yeah. You don't remember it from the very first slide that came up? The delivery room, but carry on. Sorry, we had lunch, so I do realise it.
Okay.
What does it say?
I've got it here as delivery is the surrender of possession to another, the handing over of an object or document or money.
Yes. It goes further too. It says
It
the
may be
moment you...
actual, symbolic, or constructive, and it means that the item is physically transferred from one party to another.
Yep, okay. But delivery is the moment you put it across the counter, it's considered delivery. You have transferred possession from one party to another. Now, they will try and lose them But luckily, I have a friendly registrar, or ex-registrar, who gave me some sound advice. And I'm not looking at them. Can't see them. But anyway, my friendly registrar told me that if you went down to the bank and deposited $5 into your bank account and used the courier bag number, so you get a buy a courier bag, take the number off it, and go and deposit $5 into your own bank account, or no, better still, put it into mine. And you use that number, they won't lose the documents because now the banks have perfect records. The banks can hold the courts accountable. I think that kind registrar, from the heart of my bottom, oh sorry, from the bottom of my heart.
Do you tell them that that's what you've done?
Beg your pardon?
Do you tell them that's what you've done?
What?
Whoever you're delivering the document to?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. But what I found out, because someone who did this the other day went and deposited $5, one bank on the day before they deposited the $5, they stopped putting the number on the receipt that they give you. The reference number? Yeah. Man, I tell you what, no matter what we do, they try and stay one jump ahead of us. So all the things that, and I mean, I only learnt that in December from this very kind person. And already, because I give everything out freely, already they realise, holy shit, that was very good information.
What about a photograph, because it has a date and time?
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying, if before, when you had the number on, the other banks are still doing it. They're putting the reference number on. So take a photocopy of that and stick it in the bag with the. Okay.
Is that a registered mail one, or is that just a regular courier?
Oh, look, you can't buy registered mail. You should know you can't buy registered mail envelopes. You know? You can't buy registered mail envelopes. You know that. Hold on. Could you? You can't buy registered mail envelopes, guys. No. Hey? No.
Doesn't look like it's made to me, right?
I know where to get them. But anyway, you never take the customer. Oh, do you want a photo?
You never take the customer one.
You never take the customer one. You want the A.
The A. That's you.
Thank you.
And
Please smile for the camera. Thank you. Pretty smile.
and they say you can't buy.
What do you want to take? Which one do you take? Thank you.
See, top one is customer copy. Why do you want to be? Oh, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that shortly. Sorry. A is the highest position. It's the highest position. I think that's woman on top, is it? Oh. Sorry. Yeah. You can't buy 5-cent stamps, apparently. You can't buy 5-cent stamps. You can't buy 5-cent stamps. Just no, I've given so many away. That's all I've got left now. Yeah, bloody. Yep, that'll work. It's not like unemployment, that's not working.